A leprechaun. Potatoes.
Do not fully understand.
This man claims he has been to the year 5000.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening.
It's bullshit.
Hulk Hogan. I tell you what, I'll give you $14,000.
I want the gold. Give me the gold.
Now, back to business.
Guys, we're just gonna have a great time together this afternoon.
Welcome back to another Night Talk Live.
You're right.
I'm joined by Clown Baby.
Hello.
What do you think?
8 inches.
And we'll be talking about WereWhales.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
And we also have some X-37B news.
Sure, no problem.
We have a theory about aliens and UFOs. And some Star Trek news. And we'll be doing the show mostly in this echo chamber like this.
No!
Yes.
Ideally, this is how we do every show.
Yes.
You will become one with the Borg.
All right. I'll turn down the music a little bit, and I'll turn off the echo just for now. Not unless somebody over there has anything to say that might be echo friendly.
Oh, yes.
Chicken. Dinner.
What are you, chicken?
Yes.
Don't do it.
Bill Clinton.
I tell you what, I'll give you $14,000.
Okay. Hey, welcome back to another Night Talk Live. And I'm happy that my young Clown Baby brother is here with us. Happy birthday, Clown Baby.
Why, thank you.
Let me give you a big old cheer for that one. Big old ring. He is 513 years old.
Yep. I am, let's see here. I'm not
42.7.
And I'm not
20.
Okay.
32.
32. How about that? How's it feel? Did you do anything special for your birthday?
Went out to the Hopper House. My girlfriend met some of my friends out there.
The Hopper House?
Hoffer House, like the one you have in Columbus that opened up close to where you used to live in
Grandview area, yeah. Yeah, that German place.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Drank a bunch of beer there, went back, hung out at my girlfriend's place,
Did the standard, it sounds like a nice evening for, was it Sunday?
It was Saturday. We went out Saturday.
Oh.
And then Sunday we went out we got lunch and some ice cream, but yeah.
Oh, it sounds nice. Well, I'm sorry. I completely forgot your birthday. I apologize.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad. I was a real horse's ass there. I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize.
I guess I blew that one.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. Clown Baby. I really do. I apologize publicly and openly. Hopefully,
just a joke.
It was, I don't know if it's a joke, but it's definitely my bad. I apologize.
How about a little clown action, huh?
All right. Clown action is happening. He's on the show. We're going to get to some news right now. And come on, let's just get on over there and transition and talk about some stuff. Oh yeah, we're in the moment. We're in the news cycle. We're in the cryptid zoological segment, I suppose. When we talk about WereWhales, there's a story that I found about WereWhales. You know, we've all heard of werewolves, even werecats is a thing. Never heard of WereWhales before, but I'll read this down, and then maybe we can talk about this. I don't know how WereWhales would work, really. It seems a little. I mean, werewolves in general is pretty fantastical. What you say, Clown Baby? That's out there. So
It's yeah.
But a werewhale, holy moly, holy jeez. And I'll read this down. It's a fascinating little piece of history. And this comes from strangehistory.net, a very fun website. I highly recommend anybody that's interested in some of the more obscure little tidbits of history heading over there. The guy posts just great little gems. And it's a fun read over there.
I actually didn't notice it existed until you sent me a link to it earlier today. It's actually great. I've been, don't tell my boss, but I was reading this for quite a while at work today.
What? I'm going to sell you out. What's your boss's number? I'm going to let him know that you're up to no
It is
1965, 20, 11, 17.
I don't think those numbers add up to a real phone number, but we'll dial them anyways later on in the show. Give your boss a call. Let him know that you're up to no good.
It is 10 digits.
Oh, okay. I can't count. So here's a little something on WereWhales. Different countries, of course, have different shapeshifters. Northern Europe and France. Let me actually increase this font size so I can read. My peepers aren't what they used to be. Different countries have, of course, different shapeshifters. Northern Europe and France have a strong werewolf tradition. Armenian people, I guess is it Amerindian people have lots of. What's that?
Amerindian, like
Amerindian? Amerindian. Oh, Native American. Amerindian. People have lots of changing into birds. In northern Scandinavia, shaman become deer. Early modern Britons did not change into bears, but they often met headless bears that changed into other things. Confusing, I know. Vampires are supposed to change into bats. Witches become cats or hares or owls, depending on where in Europe you are. There are also a handful of Viking references to hard-ass warriors becoming dragons. But what about werewhales? Welcome to the northern fringes of Europe, where the Shami live, a people often associated with magic and Western tradition, not least by their Norse neighbors. In a recent article of Northern Shapeshifting by Lionel D. Haribo, the author asserts that there are some 10 accounts within the Norse Icelandic corpus of men turning into whales. 6 of these accounts can be linked to the Shami, something that shows a strong connection between werewhales and the Arctic. The description are humbling for those of us who don't have these rare abilities. Now it gets into some weirder stuff. The Keltsy saga, or the Ketil
Ketil saga. I don't know how to
Ketil
pronounce.
saga. Yeah, I don't.
Kettle saga.
I can barely read anyways, Clown Baby, and they want me to.
I
read
know
stuff?
because you're adding an H to Sammy. You're calling them the Shami.
They call me Shami.
Yeah, you're calling. Yeah,
Sam.
it's SAMI.
You can correct me on that. Yes, I'm throwing in letters, but they don't even belong. My lord, this Sammy. Sorry, the Kettle sagas. The hero meets in Finnmark a Shami and a troll who can change themselves into whales. There are a number of other accounts where magicians become whales but keep their human eyes. However, the most fascinating story is from the 12th or 13th century. History Norwegia. 2 Sami magicians carry out a spell to rescue the soul of a Norwegian woman. One lies in a trance under the sheets and sends his spirit to become a whale. The trance goes wrong, however, and the whale meets another magician traveling in whale spirit form, and they have battle in the ocean. Other usual were animals are linked here in the description. So I've never ever heard. So before I hit the site, never heard of WereWhales, and also the Sami. I hadn't been familiar with them at all. And I found this article because I was talking to you earlier about Sami battle magic, and like the Swedes in I guess maybe the 14th or 15th century, according to this article on strangehistory.net, there are accounts of the Swedes using battle magicians out there in the field to influence the tide of the battle. And I was searching for at least an hour to try to find any sort of other articles beyond strangehistory.net to kind of source that. And even the author himself was looking for more accounts for any sort of magic or magicians used on the battlefield. Now, there were accounts that some Christians and kings would bring priests and monks out to the battlefield, but not anything that would be classified as traditional magic. I mean, I guess you can consider praying to be magic, but I was looking, and I really just couldn't turn up anything on Google. Google has become such a shit show to find anything of interest. I've been forced to go to SearchX to research stuff, and I just don't know enough about Sami and the Sami to do any quick research on this. Have you heard of any of these battle magicians or Sami magicians turn into WereWhales or using battle mages or anything like this, Clown Baby?
I know the Sami people. I've heard of them before, but as far as actual like battle mages, I know there was like sacrifices, like at the Battle of Marathon, I think it was. This was in Greece, during the the Persians were invading Greece. I think there was a goat sacrifice done. They look at the entrails of the goats and kind of figure out how the gods are going to favor them and stuff like that. I know there were like stuff like that that's happened. I imagine the Mongols probably already used them too, because Genghis Khan kind of liked everybody's religion, so you can get everyone's favor with all the gods. So it's something that I actually really have to look up, because I'm not too well versed in battle mages besides when I used to play World of Warcraft.
Exactly. So. Yeah, I didn't know there was a true lore to this, but there is. In this other article, a Dutch writer from 1563 wrote that the Swedes and the Danes, when they went to war, they did in the Northern 7 Years' War. This writer claimed that the king of the Swedes had 4 magicians working for him who managed to frustrate the king of Denmark and all his plans. So I guess you got to dig back through some real history here. And I couldn't find anything on Wikipedia right off the bat that would reference directly magic being used in these battles. And I guess I understand why they wouldn't want to reference that stuff, but I like these paranormal accounts. Like if there are writings from that time, from the 1500s, referencing magicians being used, why not? They reference Christians and monks and priests being brought to the battle to pray and to do their own form of magic over the warriors on their side. Why not the Sami and their type of magic to be referenced as well? I want all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Does anybody know about magic being used in medieval warfare? I'd love to know. It's such a specific, unique niche, and I just want to know more about it.
Fun fact that I found on Wikipedia. So after the victory at Marathon, there's a festival, this Argos Terras Thysia, whatever is the sacrifice to the Agroterra, which was held in Agrae near Athens in honor of Artemis, the huntress, a goddess in Greece. And this was in fulfillment of a vow made by the city before the battle to offer a sacrifice in the number of goats equal to that of the Persians slain. Apparently, so many Persians were killed. It was decided that 500 goats would be sacrificed yearly until the number was fulfilled.
Wow. That's a lot of goats.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's all we got on the WereWhale, which is just a simple little story. It wasn't like someone got bit by a whale, then they turned into a werewhale. It's part of a seance, part of a channeling ceremony to save the soul of a woman. So that's that. I didn't find anything else about werewhales. Everything kind of goes back to Icelandic and northern Scandinavia folklore and the Sami. So as I discover and read more of that stuff, I'm sure I will bring it to the show. It's very interesting stuff. All right, I got some more news here, and just for shits and giggles, just to throw in some entertainment stuff, I will bring this up on the screen because this is some big news to me. Huge news. Patrick Stewart will play Captain Picard in a new Star Trek series on CBS All Access. Can you imagine how I feel about this? This is amazing. This is awesome.
Oh, yes.
You don't tell me how to behave. You're not my mother.
Yes. This is Captain Picard playing, or Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Captain Picard. I know that. And I'm excited about this. This is amazing stuff. Patrick Stewart is boldly going where he's gone before. CBS All Access announced Saturday that Patrick Stewart has been tapped to headline a new Star Trek series reprising his Star Trek The Next Generation character, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. The new series isn't a Next Generation reboot, but
he's 78 years old. Jesus Christ.
He's an old feller. There's no doubt about that. The new series isn't a Next Generation reboot, but will tell the story of the next chapter of Picard's life. No title or air date was revealed.
Was he still going to be a captain after all these years? I mean, that seems he must have been a shitty captain if he was never promoted.
So I don't know exactly. I heard him talk about it on stage. And maybe I can bring up a little bit of it. Let me see. Patrick Stewart and TNG. Yeah, here it is. So I'll play a little bit of this. And let's see. Patrick Stewart announcement. Can we just see him talk about it?
Wow. I am so excited. I figured that this was probably...
Here we go. Wow. Is Patrick Stewart talking about it?
And returned. Thank you. I have spent a lot of time recently watching Star Trek The Next Generation, including episodes I'd never seen before, which was fun and exciting. And gradually it became clearer and clearer to me that the power of that show, the success of that show, the benefits that it gave. I have never, ever grown tired of hearing from people who stop me in the street or in a restaurant. Well, no, I don't like being...
All right, let's go harass Picard. He likes it. He likes being harassed. He likes being told how...
Definitely.
I'm really happy about this announcement. I wasn't a real big fan of the Star Trek Discovery that came out last year. I thought it really was a departure from what people liked about the Star Trek series in general, which is more science fiction, more thought-provoking elements to the show, and the new one just had too much, as far as, from what I watched the first few episodes, it was too actiony. It felt like the people who wrote it really didn't understand what Star Trek fans really like about the series, and they tried to make it too much more like J.J. Abrams' version of Star Trek, which is kind of more glitz and glamour, a little bit more action, and less science fiction type plots. So I hope now that Captain Jean-Luc Picard is back in, that he's going to get some of those writers who maybe did some of the stuff on the Next Generation and bring it back to what science fiction should be, which is slow and boring. I like that. I like my science fiction slow and boring with dialogue and using diplomacy and guile to solve problems, and not necessarily using a blaster to end every episode. But yeah, my God, Mr. Sir Patrick Stewart, 78 years old. That is something else. I wish him luck. Jeff, you weren't a big Star Trek fan, were you?
I remember watching Next Generation with you and Mom and Dad and all them.
Yeah.
When we were in Ohio, so yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll catch up. I'll watch.
You don't watch it on Netflix religiously like I do you?
I can start.
Yeah, you should. Build a shrine, and then every night before you go to bed, watch at least 1.5 episodes of Star Trek Next Generation. It will start to influence your life. You'll start to understand the power of Star Trek Next Generation and why we all need to start moving to the Star Trek future. We have to do it. There can be no other way. It's the only way. We're going to move to a new future. We have to all be on board with the Star Trek future, the Next Generation future.
Only 7 seasons, but it's 178 episodes. Whew.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do. I demand that you start watching immediately.
You will be obsolete in the new order.
Yes.
Apparently.
It's my favorite series. I watch it, and I even wrote my my girlfriend into watching it with me now, which is great. I'm glad she enjoyed it.
I can do that too.
Yeah, you got to. It's fun. It's nice, easy, kind of light stuff. It's not doesn't give you a whole lot of tension or make you feel scared in any way. There's not like a lot of like high drama to it that you can get out of a lot of series nowadays. So it's nice. It's a good series to watch. I will open up the phone lines and we'll move on to our next story, please. Let's go ahead and travel on over. There we go. Moving on over to our next story, which will be the mysterious X-37B military space plane nears 1 year in orbit. I feel like we've covered this story before.
We have.
Like this is like the second
Probably
time?
like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We've covered it multiple times.
Every time it lands again, they're like, oh, it was up there for 500 days. And what's it do? We don't know. They're not telling anybody. But the U.S. Air Force's X-37B. Oh my God, we got a dang old caller on the phone. Caller.
Hey, what is up, guys?
This man claims he has been to the year 5000.
That's correct.
And there's fucking fire everywhere, dude.
Oh my
fire is fucking everywhere, but it's cool. It's cold fire.
Oh, the year 5000 is not very pleasant, is it?
You get used to it, you know. You just kind of have to watch out for the mutants.
It's a dry heat. The dry mutants.
It's dry heat.
Right.
Man.
What is on your mind, Mr. Teddy?
Y'all talking sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more of a cartoon sci-fi guy myself. I mean, I guess it's good. You ever watch the old cartoon Johnny Quest?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I never got into it, but I know of it.
Well, if you like those kind of old Hanna-Barbera sort of weird Space Ghost, Johnny Quest type cartoons, there's a show called Venture Brothers. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I like it.
I just wanted to recommend it. The writing's fantastic. It gets kind of sci-fi-ish, kind of nerdish. It kind of does all different genres, and if you watch it from beginning to an end, the writing is phenomenal. So I just wanted to weigh in on the whole sci-fi thing with maybe a show that some people may not consider sci-fi since it's animated, but if you're a sci-fi fan, I think you'll like it.
I appreciate that. I'll have to check it out. I got into Rick and Morty. I definitely like what they do with that show. And also, believe it or not, that new Lost in Space on Netflix is a pretty good science fiction series, and I actually look forward to the second season. It's very well done. They had to have poured in almost $40-50 million into that series. It looks great. It's very well done. I recommend it. It took a while to get past the first episode, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Clown Baby's there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I hear something from him? I just want to make sure I can hear him on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Definitely.
Okay,
Hello?
good. I didn't want to be rude to Clown Baby, man, because I know last time I called in I couldn't hear Joe, and I rewatched it. I just looked like a gigantic asshole.
That was my fault. That was a technical mess up on my end. I did not have the channel where Clown Baby or Joe could talk to callers. I didn't have that cranked up. That was my bad, not anybody else. But yeah, listening back at it, it was a little weird. Sorry about that.
No problem. I still feel bad, though, man. So what else were y'all getting at besides sci-fi?
So, with sci-fi, not necessarily anything specific sci-fi, but we were just about ready to talk about the X-37B space plane that it goes up for a year. That was, I think, launched by the United States Air Force, and they still don't even know what it does. And I was just about ready to read down an article describing what it is, but not describing anything that it does. We don't really know what this thing does.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like it could be fun.
It's probably just going to be a bunch of ambiguity. We're going to speculate a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next article.
All right, well, I think I'll just let you guys get on to it, do what you do, and do it well, and hootaloo and jingle bingle.
Jingle bangle, hootaloo. Bye, Teddy.
Jingle bingle.
There he goes. I guess I'll give him a hootaloo. Hello! There he goes. So the
hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs. Exactly. The X-37B miniature space plane has winged past 340 days in orbit, performing secretive duties during the program's 5th flight. So this is 5th time up there. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Clown Baby. We talked about it 5 years ago.
December 2013, Air Force mystery X-37B space plane years 1 year in orbit. So definitely it stays out there a long ass time doing something.
Yeah, the robotic craft's latest mission, known as Orbital Test Vehicle 5, kicked off on September 7th, 2017, with a launch atop the SpaceX Falcons 9 rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. As usual, Air Force officials have revealed few details about the OTV-5, but we do know that one payload flying aboard the X-37B this time is the Advanced Structurally Embedded Thermal Spreader, or the ASETS-11. Developed by the United States Air Force Research Laboratory, this cargo is testing experimental electronics and oscillating heat pipes for long durations in the space environment. Okay, they're testing what? Dildos? I don't know. They're not really being very forthcoming about this stuff. And why is it? Why, like, what? I guess for the length of time that it's up there, which is about, I think I read it can stay up there 500 days. I guess if you're testing equipment, you want to put it through all the strains of space. And I don't know if it's practical to do that with a space station, considering its limited cargo space, and you just can't start shoving pipes and stuff up there and be a dumping ground. So, although it would be kind of cool to just send all your trash to the space station, but they might frown upon that. Let's see here. I don't got anything. You got anything else on the X-37B, or is this is just one of these things? I wish you could find that.
The original interview was the best about it when they asked him if it could be used for military purposes, and the guy from the U.S. military was just like, no.
I'll see if I can find it. Let's see.
It's like, it's got to be from 2013 or 2014. It might have been CBS who did it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Let's see. I have this CBS. I'll take a look at. I think I saw it not too long ago, because I do remember that interview where he was questioned. Do you have any idea what this could do? And they're like, we can't. We're not at liberty to really say. Let me see here. I know I have it. I actually, I do remember I pulled it from CBS, and we got the content flag from when we played it. So yeah, it was back a ways. Man, you're right. I'm going back through all my archive stuff, and it is. I can't believe we talked about it that long ago. That it's coming back up again. Like, it's not a big deal.
Well, apparently it stays up in orbit for a year, so we can kind of forget about it for about a year, and then it comes back up.
Yeah, and then it comes back again, and then we'll talk about it again, and we'll play this clip again, and it's like a forever loop of what happens here. I know I have a clip. I'm gonna wait here until we find this clip. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit here inside. What is this? So here.
11 countries, including Iran and North Korea, now have the ability to launch objects into orbit. And Russia and China have been testing new anti-satellite technologies.
That's a competition that I wish wasn't occurring, but it is. And if we're threatened in space, we have the right of self-defense. And we'll make sure we can execute that right.
And use force if necessary.
That's why we have a military. You know, I'm not NASA.
He's not NASA. Okay, that means that they're going to fire in space. I'll play these clips again. They're probably relevant. This is all concerning the space plane here.
The Pentagon told us it spends $10 billion a year on space, but we found a White House report that estimates the real cost is much higher, $25 billion when you count spy satellites and other classified spending. That's more than NASA or any other space agency in the world. Some of those satellites provide the GPS signals that guide smart bombs now attacking ISIS targets in Iraq and Syria. But a lot of people don't realize those same GPS satellites provide the signals your smartphone uses to navigate. It's a service the Air Force provides free, not just here in the United States, but to the entire world.
Thank you, Air Force. That's a nice little tidbit of trivia that people might not know or forget. And then this last one right here. This is the clip I think you're talking about, Clown Baby.
One secret project is hiding in plain sight. It's the X-37B spaceplane, a small, remotely piloted vehicle that can fly in space for 20 months at a time.
This is a model of the space.
A model of it hangs in Hyten's headquarters in Colorado.
So here's your chance to end all the speculation about what the space plane is really for.
It's really for cool things.
For instance?
For instance, it goes up to space, but unlike other satellites, it actually comes back. Anything that we put in the payload bay that we take up to space, we can now bring back. And we can learn from that.
Can you tell me whether or not someday the space plane is going to become a weapon system?
The intent is, I cannot answer that question.
But if you're determined not to create any more debris in space, why can't you say that this might not become a weapon system?
I'm not going to say what it's going to become, because we're experimenting.
Space Force.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the clip. And that was from April 2015. Over 3 years ago. So yeah. So they're not saying what it's not. They're not ruling out the possibility that it could be used to drop bombs or kill people. So yeah, if you think that they're only using it to test experimental electronics and oscillating heat pipes, yeah, bullshit.
Just a joke.
It's just a joke. That's what we've been saying all along. Yeah.
I guess I blew that one.
Yeah. You didn't keep that secret. Hey, we had that clip from 3 years ago. I managed to find it. How about that?
Amazing.
It's absolutely astounding what we can do when we use our minds. The power of the minds. That's what we're using here.
A leprechaun.
Oh, yes. A leprechaun. I'll pipe those phone lines back open. Here we go. 614-389-9109. And we'll move on to our next story. Now, I'll give you a choice here, Clown Baby. We have a story or a little blog about a theory about aliens, which is not that interesting, but it's something, I guess it's a topic of discussion. Or we have some Corey Goode and David Wilcock, extraterrestrial interrogations and tortures in secret underground space prisons.
I was reading some of that before the show started, and it's pretty ridiculous.
All right, let's go for it. I'm all about secret underground space prisons. I'm on board with Corey Goode. I like him. I do. And the more you read about the consciousness, parallel realities, different the dimensions, I think there's a possibility, a real possibility that he might be telling the truth in some weird way. I know it sounds to the average person out there about the secret space program and how could these people possibly be fighting battles on Mars and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm on board. I think I'm on board with believing Corey Goode. I don't know about his handler, David Wilcox. I don't know about his intentions with Corey Goode, but I like Corey Goode quite a bit.
Ding dong.
Oh boy, we got really interrupted by this person from the year 6000. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Mike and Clown Baby, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Talking about that X-37B, huh?
Yeah.
Super secret squirrel space plane?
Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, we know about it. We just don't know what it really does. And
yeah, I was just listening to that clip. I like how the guy from the Pentagon, not that he got defensive, he's just like, they really can't talk about that.
I'm not going to rule anything out, is what he's going to say. Almost like basically confirming
That says it all right there, the fact that he won't vote that.
Yeah, I mean, basically confirming that they probably have different versions of his plane that are specifically used for military purposes.
They actually do. There was an X-37A, there's the B, and they're probably working on a D model.
What about the C?
What
about the E and the F and the G and the H and the I and the J and the K? It's out of control.
We need next level. We need to skip a few letters.
Yes. What do you think it's used for?
It's probably targeting, probably being used as a targeting system, probably being used as a GPS and imaging. I've heard rumors that it has a built-in AI, that it might have an actual quantum computer embedded into it.
Okay.
So that's just exactly what we need, right? We need rogue AI quantum computing fucking planes with thermonuclear weapons hovering over our heads.
That's an interesting theory. If this X-37B does have some sort of AI on board, that so it's semi-autonomous and it can do it will do what it wants to a certain degree, and even more terrifying if this thing has weapons. What if it gets bored and starts launching bombs at God knows who?
Well, have you ever heard of the rod from God, the kinetic weapon?
Yeah, those are scary weapons. Like they have the theory is there's a space platform out there that carries these tungsten steel rods, and they drop them from orbit. They get up to like 30,000 miles an hour, and they come crashing down on Earth with the force of a nuclear explosion, just without all the radiation.
That's what this thing could be, man.
Maybe. I'm curious to see what this thing really does. And with the announcement of Space Force, are these things obsolete? Are we just looking? I have to assume this is like some really old technology. If they're talking about it on CBS, this is some really old technology. They got some cool stuff.
Right. If it's out there in the public, they're definitely 20 years ahead of what they're already talking about.
Yeah, big time, in the face. You got anything else for us?
No, just give me a Space Force with these space Terminators that we have hanging over our heads.
Yeah, I will.
Space Force. Good luck.
Good luck, guys. Have a great show.
Thank you, Rob. Bye.
That's a true story.
You know what drop I haven't heard in a long time? It was just the same one from the Con Actions segment on cops. It's you smoke crack.
No, you smoke crack? Hey,
how about a little clown action, huh?
Let me see if I can find the smoke crack. I think I got that.
You smoke crack?
There we go. Yeah.
You smoke crack?
All right, nice. Okay, let's do the David Wilcox and interrogated and tortured in extraterrestrials interrogated and tortured in secret underground space prisons. Not David Wilcox. So this comes from the exopolitics.org. In another bombshell interview on Cosmic Disclosure Guy TV series, insiders Emery Smith and Corey Good have revealed their direct knowledge and participation in classified programs that involve the detention, interrogation, torture, and dissection of human-looking extraterrestrials. Their stunning eyewitness accounts provide powerful evidence that atrocities have been occurring in classified programs against extraterrestrial visitors who are almost indistinguishable from modern humans. The program host, David Wilcock, began asking Good to explain what the intruder intercept and interrogation program was all about. Well, first, right off the bat, humans have been abducted for decades at this point, tortured by aliens, or at least something that appears to be alien, having their reproductive organs removed or examined, things being stuck who knows where. And we're concerned now that there's some sort of torture program going on in underground space prisons. Okay, let's talk about it. I'm on board. I'm on board. So Corey Good goes on to say, it's a program that is similar in part to the Men in Black. What the intercept and interrogation program does is that if an intruder flies into our solar system, doesn't give friend or foe signal, and is intercepted, they are taken from their ship. Or what happens in most cases that ETs have made it to the Earth and are here secretly blending in as one of us. This group will go on and retrieve the people that are here. We call the ETs people, the people that are here without permission, bring them up to a certain station, and their interrogation will begin to find out what was going on. This group also acted as a police force for non-terrestrial groups that are here with permission. They help keep them apart, and when the ETs, had issues, they acted just like the police. So they have space police. This is what they're talking about, the space police.
Space Force.
This is Space Force.
This is like some sort of space INS or space ice. Like if you're, it's almost like an analogy to Trump's wall. Almost, if you don't get friend or foe status when approaching Earth, if you're an alien, you'll be boarded forcibly, taken off your ship, and thrown into space prison and interrogated. After describing the extraterrestrials, who were very human-looking and could easily blend into human society, Smith described encountering some of them in autopsies he was conducting for classified programs at Kirtland Air Force Base and other facilities around the country. He emphasized that they had showed obvious signs of torture. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. I didn't realize the Emery Smith is another whistleblower, much like Corey Good. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with Corey Good, Clown Baby. Do you have any opinion on him thus far?
I don't really. This is the first I think I've really heard of him, except for maybe whenever you've mentioned Gaia TV before. But no, not that familiar.
Corey Good, he goes on record and explicitly conveys that he was part of the secret space program. He was part of a segment of the secret space program called Solar Warden. He was on basically diplomatic missions. He was taken at a very young age and was basically brought into the secret space program almost as a 5 or 6 year old, and from a very young age, and basically was groomed to be a part of this breakaway civilization. Very controversial what he says. A lot of people say he's just a charlatan. He's a liar, and everything he says is fake. I'm actually I'm open to him being very real, and that he actually lives a double life somehow, like either through some sort of parallel reality or some kind of interdimensional consciousness shift over. I'm open to all that stuff. But how much more information can he disclose is like, well, I would like to know. I don't know this. When was the last time was he actually in the space program? How much new information can he really provide? That's what I'm curious about. And I guess we'll have to go back through and pull some articles from Gaia TV concerning Corey Good. And I did the last week's podcast or Night Talk was on Corey Good and David Wilcock leaving the Gaia Network over the Luciferian overtones to their new show, Ancient Civilizations. I don't know if you heard that episode. I did a remarkable job.
When was that?
Last Monday.
I think I'm not sure I listened to that yet or not.
You should.
Well, I'll catch up on it.
Check it out. So Good and Smith are not the first to claim that human-looking extraterrestrials are being secretly detained, interrogated, and tortured and killed in classified programs run by mysterious quasi-governmental agencies that operate over the entire planet. One of the first references to this occurring was from researcher Frank Crawford, who published his findings in spring of 1991 in edition of UFO Journals of Facts. He described the detention and torture of alleged beings from the Tay Ceti star system based on an interview with a military witness who served with the U.S. Navy at the time, and he used a pseudonym of Oscar. So I would have to assume let's just go down this road, that if there has what some people have claimed, let's say there's well over 50 different extraterrestrial species visiting Earth. Knowing what we know of our military and what the CIA has done in black sites and Guantanamo Bay, I think it's completely within the realm of possibility that if they got their hands on one of these extraterrestrials, they would torture them. I think that is definitely within their ability to do. If they had the ability to torture them for information, I think they would do it. All signs point to that. Do you concur?
Yeah, I don't think they're above that. I mean,
they waterboard
Right.
humans. Why wouldn't they waterboard Bleep Bloop and all his
smack
friends?
the shit out of Bleep Bloop and hit him over the head with a flapjack.
So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they would torture these people if they could, and they are people. I mean, they are persons. I mean, they have their own spaceships. I'm sure they have insurance and a family, and they're just coming over here to probably because they're on some kind of mission, checking out what we're doing, seeing what's on TV over here on Earth. But I'm going to dig through this a little bit further, and I don't know. Look, I want to be all in with all the stuff. I need to pull some real audio of Emery Smith and Corey Good talking about this specifically, and then go back through the UFO Journal of facts and read that account of these ETs being detained and tortured. It sounds ridiculous, but maybe that's exactly what's happening. Kind of been thinking about this a little bit. I was actually listening to George Knapp give a talk, and he gave some comments around Bob Lazar and what he believed ultimately Bob Lazar was. And for anybody who doesn't know, Bob Lazar was the famous Area 51 S4 whistleblower. He came out on TV, gave an interview to George Knapp. Did I say George Knapp? But I listened to a talk by George Knapp. And someone asked George Knapp, do you believe Bob Lazar's story? A lot of things didn't add up, like his MIT education background. There are a lot of things that just didn't add up in Bob Lazar's story. But a lot of the information that Bob Lazar stated it turned out to be real, like the scheduled flights over at Area 51. Like he said, like every Wednesday night you can go out there and check out these experimental aircraft, and sure enough, that turned out to be true. Then the contact people who did his security background clearance at the OFI, like he had like a lot of little tidbits of information that added up, but his background didn't add up. Like he couldn't prove that he graduated from MIT. So there were some elements of different disinformation in there that didn't add up. And I'm almost like, is it in the realm of possibility that the United States government would elaborately stage like a hangar full of like saucer-like craft that might not be functional, but then they hire these contractors who might, due to psychological profiles, they know that these people are more likely to leak information that is scandalous, and that Bob Lazar was actually used as a person to discredit the entire story. Like they brought him in knowing that he would wind up leaking this information, and it's so fantastical. And then they look at his background history, and he claims to be from MIT. Meanwhile, the military knows that he's lying about his education just to get a job. And so if you discredit his education, you discredit his entire story and then everything that's going on at Area 51. Very convoluted, but I mean, the CIA implanted people into UFO communities to lead them astray. I mean, they're all in.
Well,
with this
the whole idea of limited hangouts is you get these people to kind of get people into these certain communities, and they control the flow of information, and you had everybody at above top secret just arguing with each other, calling
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what's happening on Reddit conspiracy now. It's turned into a shit show of people fighting with team politics, not talking about a singular issue. It always devolves into something else, and someone guides the thread into something else. And so with Bob Lazar, they were concerned about his education, his background. It didn't match up, so therefore the entire story is incorrect. Meanwhile, I believe they do have some alien replication or alien replica vehicles, and that there's probably some truth to the Roswell crash and recovery of that technology. And they'll stop at nothing to get the information out there, or disinformation out there. It seems
hot dogs.
Exactly. Got a lot of hot dogs. And George Knapp also talked about other people that contacted him. Right after he broke that story with Bob Lazar, he had 6 other people claiming to be from other military installations or other secret programs that wanted to leak information to him concerning what they had. And one was a woman who was a stenographer who took notes at Area 51. And so she contacted George Knapp, and next day she was visited by 2 basically men in black, and was basically told to shut up, or else you and your daughter are going to be found missing in a desert, or not found missing in a desert. Not going to be found missing in a desert. And so all these little whistleblowers that initially wanted to leak their story to George Knapp were just kind of threatened and told to shut up, giving more credence to what Bob Lazar said initially about they do have UFOs at Area 51. It's such a convoluted thing at this point. You almost could believe any scenario when it comes to alien visitation, the origin, what technology that they might utilize, and you can make a good case out of all of it, or none of it. And maybe that's the point of all this. Let me play my juicer. You got anything else for me?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you.
I mean, not on this. I have 2 other stories we can look at real quick. I think they've got videos.
Yeah, videos? Okay. How can you send them to me?
I can just play the audio. I mean, they're local news, it looks like. So.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Let's see how this one goes.
Led to a man getting shot to death outside a crowded Walmart. Snellville police went over evidence outside the Walmart on Scenic Highway in Snellville on Sunday. Witnesses told us a shooter and 49-year-old victim argued about a parking space before the gunfire. Shoppers say it was chaotic.
People were missing their family members because there was some kids, they were crying because they didn't know where their dad was at.
And police charged the gunman with involuntary manslaughter.
That's right. Someone shot and died outside of a Walmart over a parking spot.
Oh, my God.
Walmart, not even once.
My God. What a... It's just like sad. I read the article of a few weeks ago, a few episodes ago, that people go to Walmart to die. I mean, it's just a...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's just absolutely sad. Now people are shooting each other over... guess what? There's plenty of parking at Walmart. There's plenty. I've never seen it entirely full.
No, I've never seen an entirely full Walmart parking lot. I've seen other things that are entirely full there, but
yeah. All right. Second story you got?
Oh yeah, this is more. This is local news from Pittsburgh, and this is just, I guess, another altercation.
Just another.
All
right.
Right with the theme.
That got out of control, way out of control, ending in gunfire. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer went out to Indiana Township and found out how a fight between neighbors boiled over. She reports from County Police Headquarters in Green Tree.
An ongoing dispute between next-door neighbors landed one in the hospital and the other here, questioned by police at county headquarters. Crime scene tape across a rural road in Indiana Township, the outcome of a tense relationship between neighbors.
It's an ongoing neighbor dispute
They left this morning from their residence, went up the street, and another confrontation occurred.
This one violent on Berry Hill Road, right up the street from where both men live. According to police, it was around 7 a.m. when the man in the white box truck was behind his next door neighbor who drives this orange pickup.
That's what we're still trying to determine exactly what occurred.
County detectives were called to the scene, determining that the man in the box truck got out with a crowbar, striking the orange pickup and attacking the neighbor who drives it. That neighbor at some point shot the box truck driver, who was taken to the hospital. The neighbor with the gun stayed there and called 911. He was questioned by police, who continued to investigate. Channel 11 spoke with family of both men on scene, too shaken up to go on camera. Ultimately, each returned to their side-by-side homes. In Indiana Township, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel.
Well, more exhilarating news.
What the hell is going on in Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
My God, we're getting the heck out of here. My God. I think we covered enough UFO news, WereWhales, space planes, Star Trek news, violent altercations at Walmart. Oh, my God.
Hamburger, $2.40 a pound.
Well, you want to woo-woo?
Here you go. Hey, can you play that one again? So it's my favorite Bill Clinton clip. He's just talking backwards.
Now, back to business.
Yeah.
Now, back to business.
Hey, thanks for everyone hanging out on just a amazing Monday night talk. We appreciate you hanging out, getting all rowdy in the chat. Although I completely ignored the chat. I'm sorry.
That's not a nice thing to do.
I know. I'm sorry. It's tough. I'm trying to read stories and coordinate the show and produce the show. I don't have a lot of time to talk to the chat. I need to get another screen over here. I need another monitor. Got to get that going.
Have Bogey read the chat.
Yeah, Bogey should read the chat for me. That's absolutely right.
Space Force.
Yes, Space Force. We will be back on, I think the show is going to be happening on Thursday. I cannot do Wednesday. I got to talk to Joe about that. So we might be doing the OBDM podcast on Thursday and then probably again on Saturday.
Perv alert.
Yeah.
Quit giving me shit.
The shampoo.
Quit giving me shit. Is that what he said?
Yeah. Quit giving me shit.
Huh. I didn't know Bill Clinton cursed like that.
Bullshit.
Oh, well, there he is. Okay.
I do not fully understand.
Well, hey, thanks, everyone.
Don't worry.
We're getting the heck out of here. Thank you, Clown Baby. I will. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye. Shablagoo.